After 3 stages of competition with thousands of competitors, it's all down to just 10 players to decide the 2021 eSX eSport champion. Hi everyone, I'm Kellen Brower. Welcome to the finale of the inaugural eSX eSport Championship presented by Yamaha. Before we crown our first champion today, let's first take a look back at how we got here. Of course, the eSX eSport Championship is raced through the game Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game for. The competition comprised of 3 stages where over 6,000 competitors from more than 100 different countries participated. Each player who registered received a special edition Yamaha eSX bike livery. Stage 1 was a time trial qualification where players raced the clock to try to qualify for 12 spots in their respective consoles in Stage 2. In Stage 2, there were 3 races in which 2 winners from each console then qualified for today's 10-player finale. Today's final will be 2 races. One will be simply for gate selection, and the second race will be the winner-take-all finale, which is going to be a 5-minute plus 1-lap race. The winner walks away with this Yamaha Wolverine RM-AX4 1000 limited edition, as well as the grand prize trophy. As we get ready to drop the gate, we of course want to thank our title partner at Yamaha for putting on this competition. So we're just about set to go racing here for the finale of the 2021 eSX eSport Championship in Monster Energy Supercross 4. They're going to be taking on Rice-Eccles Stadium, round 17 of the 2020 championship in Salt Lake City. Here's the finalist list though. Perez 01, Don't Be So Sicko, Kimmy's in, Transcend, IQ 42, Yeezus 416, AJ Brownlee 13, AK 333MX, Bold DGN, and Swaggly getting in as an alternate. And this is what they're going to be going for here tonight, folks. Not only this trophy, but of course, that Yamaha Wolverine RM-AX4 1000 limited edition. Nice trophy that the winner will be picking up right here, though. Look at that 2021 eSX World Champion plastered across the bottom. And then, of course, there is that Yamaha Wolverine RM-AX4 1000 limited edition. Pretty gnarly to have a prize of this magnitude put up for a champion of an esport. And cool to see the folks at Yamaha getting in behind this. So here we go. We're going to start off with the seeding race. This is, again, just for the gate selection later on tonight. So we're about to drop the gate and see what happens. Let's get the revs up and drop the gate in Salt Lake City. Up the inside, it's going to be the 100 of Perez, who got to the corner first. A little bit of bumping and banging. You'll also note that the riders will be going through each other a little bit. They did a couple prelim races and decided that collisions should be turned off for this because they are not playing land. There's going to be riders from all around the world, including our 2 leaders in this seeding race right here. Kimmy's in on the 76 is actually from Brazil, and the man right behind him, Perez 01, there on the 100, he is out of Spain, and then a mix of other riders from different places inside of the United States also in this mix as well. But you can see there actually AK333MX getting into the mix. He's going to get around Perez for that second spot, but Perez fights back up the inside on the 100, and they're going to go pretty much side by side, so to speak, through the whoop section there. Lap 1 in the books. This is a 5-minute plus 1-lap seeding race. Same for the finale that we're going to have in just a few moments here. But these guys are trying to go for gate pick, which is not that critical given that there isn't collisions for these races, but could be a little bit critical to have a good line choice going into the first corner, maybe get off the gate a little bit better. Maybe you just prefer being closer to the box or further away from the box, and that is what these guys are trying to fight for right here as Kimmy's in continues to lead on the 76 out front. This great battle between Perez and AK in second place, but now it's turning into a battle for the lead as up the inside Perez gets around Kimmy's in. Kimmy did not get that rhythm section clean. That long rhythm section's been tricky for some guys. As off the track in the background, AK, he's going to lose some ground. So Perez, just like that, shoots into the race lead. And now he's going to try to open up a small gap as Kimmy settles back into second on that number 76 machine. We'll go on board with him as he tails down the Spaniard on the number 100 machine. And cool to see as well, these guys actually got some custom-made bikes and gear and everything like that for this finale. So shout out to the folks at Milestone, of course, that made this game. Also getting these guys hooked up for some cool stuff with the finale. But a mistake there for Kimmy's in allows AK through, and then AK, he makes a big mistake himself. He got into the tough blocks, and they're all starting to lose a little bit of time to Perez. Transcend, Don't Be So Sicko closing up is a mistake again there for AK. He cases that triple through the middle, or actually the ending of the rhythm section there. And Kimmy back through into second place. Now we got a 3-rider battle starting to brew for this second position. All the while, Perez starting to sneak away out front. Kimi holding steady with AK right there, and you can see Transcend SP. He is also moving into the fray here. Transcend on that number 589 machine. Oh, mistake! AK sliding out in the first corner. He goes down. He is going to remount still in third place, or fourth place, I should say. Actually, he did lose a position. Transcend went by, and you can see a close battle here going on for fifth now. Bull DGN going to move past Yeezus 416. Yeezus on that 275. We also have Don't Be So Sicko right here. He is closing up onto the back of Bull DGN as they continue to kind of split back and forth. Time already starting to wind down a little bit in this preliminary race of the evening. Oh, a little deep into the corner there for Don't Be So Sicko. This gives you a good perspective, though, of how technical this game can be. You are seeing a few interesting techniques used if you are not frequently competitive in this game. Maybe you haven't raced in the competitive scene before. You're going to see a couple of the wheelie scrubs, the scrub glitches, other things like that these guys tried to stay a little bit lower to the ground, get that power down, and obviously riding the rear wheel as much as possible to keep the power planted. Back to this battle for fifth, and it is still hot and heavy. Uses Bull DGN and Don't Be So Sicko nose to tail right here. Back to our race leader, though. It is Perez as we come down on the final lap. Skipped ahead a little bit here, but it's Perez bringing us down through the whoops, and he is going to win this seeding race by the looks of it. Yep, through that last corner, and he gets over the finish line jump first. So Perez wins the seeding race from Kimi's in AK333MX. Now Transcend comes across in fourth. Don't Be So Sicko in P5 there. Yeezus is just going to hold off Bull DGN to the line. And then we have AJ Brownlee, Swagley, and IQ coming to the line as well. Looks like a little lag there for Brownlee, but he'll end up in eighth, and Swagley ends up in ninth. And again, this is just for those gate selections for the all-important finale where it is all on the line. There is no multiple races. It's a short race. And before we know it, we're going to be crowning ourselves a champion. So IQ comes across there in eventually 10th. But here we go. That's a look at how they finished right there, with Perez going to the gate first for the finale. So let us get revved up and ready to go. We are about to crown the 2021 eSX eSport World Champion for 2021. This is going to be an absolute barn burner. Can Kimi's in fight back? Does Perez just have too much speed? Or will someone else perhaps come out on top? We're going to find out right now as we get back in. Riders are on the gate, the revs are up, and let's crown a champion for 2021. A couple riders hitting the gate. Into that first corner, the 243, he went a little bit long, but out of the middle, it's going to be AK333MX with the hole shot. He gets through the first corner and first couple sections in the lead. Kimi's in, Bull DGN, they're battling for second, but now it turns into the battle for the lead. Kimi's in up the inside. AK, he fights back, and Kimi, with a big mistake, is falling down the order. He's back to ninth. Through this first long rhythm section, that step on, step off, triple, triple. Another rider just went down mid-rhythm. As AK leads from Yeezus, Perez is already up to third. Bull DGN right there in fourth, battling with Swagley also in the mix. Perez now into third. Kimi up into P6 as we come down to complete the first lap of action. This time is dwindling down in a hurry, though. It is only that 5-minute race plus a single lap. And these guys cannot afford to make any mistakes. No small mistakes or major crashes, of course. Those would almost take you out of the running, as we saw with Kimi. Just a small mistake pushed him a little bit further back. Now he's going to move up to fourth as we watch this battle for second, with Perez and Yeezus going at it. And I think this is Perez's time. Look at him keeping that front end low through that rhythm section. Gonna get the step on, step off clean. It comes down to who gets this triple. AK a little bit short. Perez gonna triple to the inside, and it's a battle side by side, pretty much rubbing number plates on the triple. Perez trying to take the lead away from AK. And this is for the championship right here, folks. The Yamaha Wolverine on the line, that big championship trophy. As Perez takes the lead, he ran it in a little hot after the whoops, but squares back up underneath and holds on. AK now settles back into second place. As the fighting in third, Kimi's in right there with Yeezus, as AK trying to hold Perez close. And cool to see the mix of different riders up front here. We got Perez from the PS4 qualifying AK on the Xbox One, Kimmy's in on the PC, Yeezus from the Xbox Series S. So many different consoles represented here. They're all now on PC, though, racing against each other. AK is keeping Perez honest, and Kimmy smelling some blood in the water right here. A little bit long on that double-double. He's trying to downside that first double, get a good drive into the second face. And we are just under, essentially halfway through this race with 2:24 left on the clock. And obviously that extra lap at the end going to add a little bit more time from the 5-minute clock. But boy, oh boy, what a three-rider freight train this is out front. This is still anybody's race of this front trio. And maybe if they start messing with each other, who knows, just a small mistake is all it's going to take. As AK, he almost goes off the side of the track, and Kimmy also clipped a tough block coming into that rhythm section, but Kimmy's going to take advantage of AK, the mistake that AK333 had right there, and go into second place. And I think AK may have went down before the Supercross triple because he's losing a bunch of time. But look at this. Suddenly, Perez opening up a little more than a second and a half, and now AK actually going to get back into that second spot. So another mistake for Kimmy. And could that be the buffer zone that Perez needed? He has been lightning fast here this evening, winning the seeding race, pulling a nice comfortable gap by the end of that one as well. And even though 2.6 seconds looks big, it's pretty small in this type of racing, as AK, another mistake, lands on the tough blocks, and this time it's going to cause him to go down. So Kimmy's back into that second spot. AK with Yeezus and Bull DGN now closing up, as Transcend also gets into the picture. You can see him in the red gear there in the background, that red 7 gear. And AK, he looks a little flustered now. He's made a couple more mistakes and has really allowed this trio to close up. It's really these two riders, though, Yeezus and Bull DGN, trying to move their way forward. And another mistake for AK333 into the tough blocks again before the whoops. And now he slipped all the way back to 5th. Here comes Transcend trying to move his way into the top 5. And this is essentially going to be for bragging rights unless something happens. A little mistake right there. That was Yeezus cutting the first turn and being reset. When that tough block gets moved out of the way, it's ever so enticing to just go up the inside and make a little bit more of an aggressive angle into that first rhythm section. But there is actually a reset gate right there if you miss it. And look at this, 4 riders practically on top of each other as they come through this back rhythm section. Getting this triple-triple is so crucial. You want to land on this inside and hook that corner really nicely. All 4 riders doing a good job. But you can see on the map in the right-hand corner of your screen that Perez continuing to lead this race now. Coming into the final lap, the white flag is now waving. Time just expired before Perez made it back through. So he has got the white flag, and he has got 1 lap between himself and this 2021 championship. Kimmy's is trying to keep him honest, but a 3-second gap is now starting to feel much larger as he is trying to close this gap down in the closing stages. I think he's going to fall just short, though, barring a complete mistake out of Perez. Even a crash at this point, given that gap, it's going to be tough for Kimmy's to make the pass, but he is not giving up as Perez, the 19-year-old out of Spain, really big fan of motocross, he says, and he's going to be a really big fan of this victory if he can bring it home. 1 more straightaway to go. And he has done it, ladies and gentlemen. Your 2021 eSX eSport World Champion, Perez 01. Kimmy's crosses the line in second after a crash. That's going to be AK from Bull DGN, Yeezus, and Transcend. 3, 4, 5, 6. AJ Brownlee just gets Don't Be So Sicko to the line for 7th. And IQ and Swagley are trying to round it up here in 9th. But what an effort by Perez. Wins the seeding race, wins the finale. He's taken home a Yamaha Wolverine RMAX 4 1000 limited edition, as well as the championship trophy. Great racing, very close in the end. Unfortunate, a couple mistakes there for Kimmy's and AK took him out, but congrats to the winner of the 2021 eSX eSport Championship presented by Yamaha, Perez 01.